Well, good morning. Welcome to another ASMR at 5. Actually, I got up at 4 o'clock today from a banging thunderstorm. Thought it was a nuclear war. It was flashing and banging, shook the house. Lasted about 20-25 minutes. I laid there in bed. And as usual, just kind of laid there. Had a fan blowing on me. And once I'm awake, that's it. I'm awake, laying there trying to go back to sleep, dreaming or trying to get back into a dream, which can be fun. Didn't really work. So I just got up. The rainstorm blew over. Now I'm sitting in the cozy nook. Birds are singing like crazy out there. I don't know if you can hear it because I'm mic'd today. But there's a nice cool breeze coming in. It's wonderful. I have my cup of coffee, although it's not my blender bulletproof coffee, which would be a little too noisy for 4:30 in the morning. When you put your coffee, your butter, and coconut oil in the blender, you could wake up a household. So I just basically took a sliver of butter and my coconut oil, and I put a little honey in it today. I know that's not part of the recipe. I just felt like having some local honey. I get it from a local farm here. Actually, there's a farm, a working farm, just a few miles outside of Philadelphia that I live right near. And it's this sprawling suburban area, and then there's this farm. It's nice. It's very nice. So I try to get as much there as I can. Well, one of the things I want to talk about is the origins of the Gray Bailey channel. People asked me yesterday. It's amazing. 3 questions came in. The same exact question. How did you get started doing this? Well, there's a lot more to me than just a person that cuts hair. I had a career before cutting hair. Actually, 2 careers. I was an educator and in healthcare for a long time. Master's degree, 1,000. Postmaster's, continuing ed hours, bachelor's degree, associate's degree. Taught in 5 colleges. Learned how to cut hair. I didn't love working in healthcare. I did not love working in academia. I loved cutting hair. What can I say? I loved a trade more than a quote-unquote profession. So what I did was I turned a humble trade into a profession. On top of that, I was a commercial actor and model for many years. And I'm kind of like an average student. Average to above average. That's why in past videos I've always said when the army of average has a fire lit under them, they pretty much become unstoppable, which is how I feel, even at my age. What's interesting is because I wasn't an academic fireball when I was younger, when I was a young man, high school, college, I learned how to speak well. I read obsessively. I sound like Ty Lopez now. Here in my garage, knowledge. I have a book collection that's amazing, and I've read every book. And I took all my books and created sections on history, philosophy, geography, politics, theology, Eastern literature, Western literature, just everything you can imagine. And I'm an obsessive reader, absolutely obsessive reader. I could give up a piece of furniture, but don't touch my books. That's the kind of person I am. I love books. And I would encourage you to be a book collector and reader as well. But it started like this. I was getting questions from my male clientele, not the female clientele, on hair and beard issues. So rather than answering the same question 1,000 times, I would just direct them to a YouTube channel. So the first video that I made was not that long ago. It was only February of 2016. So I just celebrated a year of doing video like this. And what I started doing was just answering questions on video, literally setting up a tripod. Actually, the tripod is right there in the corner. Putting my phone on it. I don't have a fancy camera. I have a phone. I have a Galaxy Note 5. And then I would just teach like I'm doing right now. Excuse me a second. And I would direct people to the channel. It grew to 1,000 subscribers within a month, which tells me there was a need for it. Or at least there's a lot of beard guys out there, which tells me that there might have been a need for an old guy with a white beard talking about beards. I don't know. Because was I filling any gap? I don't think so. So it shows you that you might not have to be 100% original. Your twist on it is what makes it original. So were there beard channels before me, and guy channels, and channels like this? Of course, there's tons. And I've done a lot of teaching and so forth, so why not make it official and put it on video, other than just doing selfies and taking pictures of my food and my cats, make myself useful. The name that I picked, Gray Bailey, is GB, which are the initials of my name. I picked two words, two names that could be male or female. Gray could be a male or female name, and Bailey could be a male or female name. This is how it started. So my goal was to do 3 months of videos for men, grooming, hair care, and so forth. And then after that 3 months, do videos for women on hair care. And then after that, do 3 months of videos of skincare. Then 3 months of videos on makeup. Being in the hair and beauty industry, a working person in the hair and beauty industry. So I would make videos before I started my workday or after, or if I had a break, that type of thing. And it just exploded. At that time, you needed, I think, 100 subscribers to monetize the videos. So I did that right away, immediately. You get an AdSense account, you link your AdSense account with your YouTube channel. AdSense is owned by Google. Google also owns YouTube. My goal was to make a full-time living with it. Within 2 years, I gave myself a 2-year time frame. My goal was to match my income within 18 months, exceed it within 2 years, and be able to leave the full-time world of cutting hair and doing media work because of my media background, on-camera training, and also I teach on-camera skills as well. So this is not by accident. I'm not just some guy that knows how to speak in front of a camera. I'm trained at it, and I do training in this. But what's interesting is that I've always used those skills through an agent in the past. Now I'm using these skills through me. I am my own agent. So I now have income. I'm not rich, but I have now income from this channel right now, which allows me a certain amount of freedom. Don't kid yourself. Income equals freedom. If you don't have income, you're a slave. And I was tired of being a slave. Excuse me. So I did my first video. One thing led to another. Then there was commentary. And I saw that I kind of enjoyed the whole, I don't know, the MGTOW thing, MGTOW. And people were saying that I'm popping up with other speakers and YouTubers, content creators and video influencers in the area of men's issues. So here I am now, a little over a year, and I haven't even gotten to women's hair yet. But what happened is this beard has built a bridge to men of all ages. Everything from teenage guys up to guys that are my age and older. And it has led to videos on discussions about life and peace and war and women and jobs and goals and breaking free and getting away from the man. And it's become a thing now. It certainly wasn't my plan, but I like riding waves when they appear. I like to say, if you can't find a wave, make a wave, which is pretty much what I did. Oh, I'm looking at the sky. That's getting a little bit brighter right now. Isn't that nice? The birds are going crazy, and it's actually getting brighter out. I know when I do my Beards Without Borders broadcasts, actually they're not broadcasts, they're just videos. It starts, I like to start them when it's still light out at night, and then usually by the end of the video it's dark. So here we are. I started when it was pitch black out. ASMR at 5. Autonomic sensory meridian response, which means that you are resonating with the sound of my voice. And that works for some people. It doesn't work for others. I don't know why. A lot of people will say ASMR, in a nutshell, is sounds that you feel. So, did someone ever read to you when you were a child and you get drowsy? And it has, at one point, it has nothing to do with the content of what's being read. It has to do with the sound of the person's voice that's relaxing. And that's what ASMR is. So usually for men, ASMR is the best ASMR. Men's videos are from men with a deeper voice, who have a certain cadence, who have a certain way of pronouncing things, and being a former professional speaker, an actor, spokesperson. I worked on my voice forever. Even as a little kid, I used to record my voice on a reel-to-reel tape recorder. That takes you back a little bit. A lot of people have never even seen a reel-to-reel tape recorder. And I still have some of those tapes where I was doing like fake radio shows and announcing and actually playing real records back in the day, back in the 60s. But I love my time in the morning, so, and I like my time at night. I love my life. I love my life. I like doing late night things. I like doing early morning things. I need about 6 hours of sleep. And I can, if I get a chance to take a 20-minute nap in the afternoon, if I have the luxury of doing that, that kind of recharges my batteries If I don't get a nap in the afternoon, then I find that it's an early night. If I get a nap, then I'm good. Back in my day, we used to call them disco naps. You know what a disco nap is? A disco nap is you know you're going out that night, so you take a nap in the afternoon so you can stay out late. That's all. That's what a disco nap was. So I started the channel, I monetized everything. And now I operate in circles, in the circles of influencers and life coaches. So here I am with this master's, a guy who cuts hair, who has a master's degree in education with a concentration in counseling, who has a coaching certificate and 1,000 postmasters continuing education hours, because I'm a learning junkie. And I did all that before I was 40 years old. And now it's almost 20 years after that. Divorced, 3 kids. So where does all this go? Where does all that knowledge end up? Here. It certainly isn't in cutting hair. When I cut people's hair, I like to have a peaceful situation. I don't want to be a chatty guy. I'm not one of these chatty people. Unless a person wants to talk, but I'm not chatty. My chattiness is here. So if you want to start a channel, you have to get an AdSense account. And you do that through Google AdSense. Just look it up. Create the account. Connect the account to a bank that's not your regular bank. Have a separate bank so you know that all the incoming deposits are from your virtual or online stuff. So all of my virtual and online stuff goes into a completely separate account. Keep it separate from your bills and your everyday spending and your ATM card and all that stuff. And just start creating content on a regular basis. You have to be relentless. I used to say, I need to do it once a week. I need to make a video once a week. Well, that ended up being, I need to make a video every day. So now, 525 videos later, and that's nothing compared to some of my contemporaries and colleagues who have 1, 2, and 3,000 videos that they've uploaded. You can learn so much. You can learn so much if you just apply yourself. But I find that if you don't have an outlet with what you learn, you kind of jam up your brain a little bit. If you learn something, teach something. Don't learn something just to learn something. Learn it to teach it. That's what I do. Hence the early morning videos, which tend to be a little slower, a little more contemplative. Always drinking coffee with the please feel free to shut up coffee mug. Evening videos are a little more mellow, enjoying a cigar or a pipe, some adult spirits. And then my teaching videos and beard videos and ASMR and product reviews. One thing led to another. And it has worked. And it's growing. The blessings are coming in. The offers are coming in. Life is good. And I'm attracting good things in my life. And I have a great attitude. And I've experienced some things that are... don't you hate it when you get honey on the side of the cup? The cup becomes sticky because I drizzled honey on the side of the cup. Drives me crazy. It's like when you were a little kid and you got syrup on the fork and you wrap the fork in a napkin so when you're eating pancakes or waffles because you didn't like a sticky fork. So some of my shtick has been, most recently, with lawnmowers and weed whackers, which I think has been pretty funny. But I did realize something. I was inviting nonsense into my life, and I just reject the nonsense and roll with it. And I'm interested in attracting opportunities and not conflict. So right now, I left where I was working in a mall. I was working in a damn mall, which had music in the store, music in the mall. It was noisy, people talking, and I couldn't concentrate. And someone said, well, is that because you're older? I'm like, no, it's just noise coming from every direction. And I like to create a vibe when I cut someone's hair. I want it to be an experience, not just a haircut. And I have a whole philosophy on cutting hair, that it should be an experience and not glue it down with stuff. I like hair to move. That's my attitude. So I left that job. I'm looking for either to join a studio or create a private hair studio. I got my Florida hair license because I'm now in Philly. Got my Florida hair license, which I will either go down there for the winters or make a complete move. My family lives in Florida. I'm single, divorced, unattached, not pulled in any direction. Feel strong, healthy, great, mentally, just 100% feel great. No grief, no weird, being pulled in any weird direction. Clear, clarity, man. And that's what I want for you, is to live clear. Like Richard Cooper says, he talks about clarity. Dennis Prager talks about clarity. Good stuff, man. There's nothing like it. You're not being influenced by grief. You're not being influenced by failure. You're not being influenced by anyone else. Can you hear those birds? That is so beautiful. I call it God's alarm clock. Well, that's how Gray Bailey started. And it was supposed to be a channel for being naturally beautiful and handsome. And it was basically just going to be a channel about aesthetics and not about lifestyle. And it has very pleasantly allowed me to utilize my talents and my knowledge and to be able to bless people. And I don't say bless in a particularly religious way, although I am Christian and I try hard to live a decent Christian life. That's me. And we don't talk a lot about religion and politics and that kind of stuff, although I have very strong feelings about those things and identify in a certain way with certain movements and people and things like that. But I like to think that my philosophies in life are without borders or boundaries. So that's what the channel is about. And it was going to be about just hair and natural products for men and women and creating homemade products. And just one thing led to another. Now it has become a movement with thousands of fans, subscribers, and followers, which have helped me brand myself and confirm with me that my message is valid, needs to be told, and that there's a market for it. A lot of times you don't know what your market is until you are actually in motion. Don't wait. Don't wait. Many times you develop your topics and your themes while you are en route, while you're in motion. So keep that in mind if you want to create a lifestyle, a content creator, video influencer lifestyle. Well, it's now getting light out. It's nice. Thank you for joining me today. Here's to you. And I'll see you again on another morning at ASMR at 5. Have a great day.